Maybe you're not able to comment. Give me 1 second. No, there's 7 people that have joined. Welcome. Uh, Attendees can chat with everyone. So I think if you have joined the chat, if you joined our webinar today, you can send a message. You should be able to send a message. I'm going to type in here. Can everyone see the chat in the live stream? Can everyone see my screen? That's also a question, right? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we have one person that said hi. Hello, Elias. Everyone else that joined into the webinar, can you please say who you are and where you're joining us from? We have a couple minutes here before we start at 4. So during this time, if anyone has like very quick questions, you can feel free to ask, but we'll start at 4 o'clock Singapore time. So just 2 minutes here. Yes, hello, everyone. Every time that we do these webinars is such a cool thing to see, like the variety of places that people are logging in and calling in from, which is really awesome. Literally all over the world, of all different times of day. That's always cool. And of course, welcome to Ahrefs, since you guys are new to our platform. So happy to have you here today. Hopefully, the content that we share today will help you make the most out of your subscription with us or your time with us here, having an account. And if you are following along, you can log in. I'm currently at the dashboard here. Of course, and you can follow along with me as we go through the different use cases. If I am too slow or fast, mostly if I'm too slow. I mean, if I'm going too fast and you'd like me to repeat something, you can definitely let me know from the chat. It'll be very useful. If you are seeing this webinar from YouTube, the link to join this Zoom should be in the description. Okay, we have about 44 people. And at the end of this webinar, when you leave, we will be sharing out a survey, and that would be really helpful if you could fill out that survey and let us know what you liked about today's webinar, as well as things you would like to see improved, as well as your overall experience with the Ahrefs platform as a whole. These are all things that would help us improve your experience and time with us here. Okay, and without further ado, we shall begin. So hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar on the powerful ways in which you can use Ahrefs to improve performance on search and AI. And we'll go through a number of use cases here which we think will be useful. We are mainly going to cover the tools that should be available to almost everyone, regardless of subscription that you're on. However, if you'd like to see any tools being demoed that you don't have access to, this is also your opportunity. Just ask that question in the chat. Actually, there's a Q&A. So let me open up the Q&A here. There should be a Q&A at the question container here, and that from these open questions, I will check on that are being asked. And I will answer all of them unless they're very relevant to what I'm presenting right now. I will answer all Q&A questions at the end of our webinar, okay? And so without further ado, we will begin with the first use case. And the first use case is that you can compare your website against your competitors in an easy, like overtime chart in Site Explorer. Okay, and so if I head over to dashboard here, if you're not sure what Site Explorer is, it is the main tool that you can see all not only SEO metrics now, but also visibility metrics for any website across different AI platforms. Oh, it's taking a while to load. Let's open a different one here. Let's just go to, for example, if I go to ahrefs.com. There we go. You see that there are all these metrics over here pertaining to your backlink profile, number of backlinks that you have, as well as the number of keywords that you show up with from in search across different countries. Donald asked, can we get the meeting recording? And I say, yes, the meeting is this webinar is currently being streamed on YouTube. And so at the end, you will get a YouTube link sent to you a day after today, where you can watch the replay. Okay, so if you're following along here, we're at Site Explorer. And yes, there's a lot of things that are happening on this page. But anytime you don't understand something, you can hover over these eyes, okay, to give you an explanation about how these metrics are formed and what they mean, how they're calculated. So organic keywords, for example, these eyes are very useful in giving you information about what they're all about. There's also this how to use handy tooltip over here. And what that does is that if you click on it, you'll open up our Academy to the page exactly that is talking about the report that you're looking at here. So in this case, this is the Site Explorer overview. So we are now in the Site Explorer overview module of the Academy. And here there's a video as well as different use cases that you can go through to see how to use this particular report. Okay, so these are just handy things to keep in mind as you explore the platform. Okay, so, but we're going back to looking at how to see my competitors side by side. So if I put in ahrefs.com here, there's actually a number of competitors that I can apply. And I have this pre-filled in because what happens is that if you've entered this for this website in the past, it will save it. So that every time you come back to this report, or you always enter this like the same website in, you get the competitors pre-saved for you. And I can apply. Now I get to see my traffic against my competitors over time. And if I want, I can change that to a different metric, for example, referring domains, right? I believe I can also do, for example, a share of voice. These are all things that I can do using this report. And this is like a handy way to visualize my performance over time against my competitors, and B, like a handy way to create like charts for maybe reporting with for your team, or maybe for your managers or things like that. Similarly, as I can do it against competitors, I can also do it for locations. So maybe I want to see my organic traffic for different countries. And this is important if you are, for example, targeting different regions, different markets. How many competitors can you add? I believe the max right now is 5. Yeah. Countries take a while to load. That's okay. If you're not sure what these bubbles are, okay, they're coming soon. If you're not sure what these bubbles are, these are changes that we detect that go to the Ahrefs.com page, not the domain, but page. And we detected there like massive changes or small changes. They show up as small bubbles here. And this is useful because, for example, there could be a change that applied to this landing page here for the domain, and that might explain like changes in organic traffic or other metrics. That helps you pick like monitor times where maybe updates were made not just to your page, but for example, you can do it for your competitors. Maybe they have made a big change on their website, and you can see if it has affected their organic traffic or not. And this is like a handy way of seeing these changes here. Okay, you can also do a year-on-year kind of comparison. So like our company started quite a while ago, like more than 10 years ago. So, but if I were, let's say, to select last 5 years, 1, 2, 3, what, last 5 years, I should be able to see them on a year-on-year basis. It's organic traffic. See? It's also another useful tool for seeing the performance over time for any metric. Okay, so this one chart within a Site Explorer actually is very powerful. You can play around to see like how that information can help you understand how well or not well your business, your website is doing, or like your competitor and things like that. Okay, so that is the first use case. Oh, sorry, 10 competitors. So you can put up to 10 competitors up here. Just do note that if you put in 10 competitors, you gotta wait a little bit because it has a lot of data to load at the same time. Okay, next one, competitor analysis. So you can find your gaps in your content strategy in seconds. So let's say you are looking to see what more content ideas that you can create for your website. And a good, easy way to do this is to see what your competitors are doing and find content ideas that allow them that they rank for in Google search results, but you don't. So for example, if I open competitor analysis here, again, I put in Ahrefs.com. So if you put in any website, we will automatically suggest some that are ranking with some similar keywords to yours. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in some competitors here. Yeah. And I have keywords on, so I'll show keyword opportunities. So now this report is looking at keywords that my competitors, these 3 competitors, rank for that Ahrefs.com does not at all in the top 100 positions, or top 10 positions in this case. Okay, so there's quite a number of these different keywords. Now I want to filter out, I want at least 2 competitors. And the reason why I want at least 2 competitors is because like Neil Patel is going to .com is going to rank for Neil Patel. I don't have any plans to rank for their branded keywords, but two different competitors are unlikely to rank for the same branded keywords, right? Like Neil Patel is unlikely to rank for SEMrush. So I want to filter so that at least two competitors rank for a keyword, but Ahrefs.com does not. So I apply. There you go. And that usually results in quite interesting. So in this case, there are quite a number of keywords where all three of my competitors rank for, but I do not. For example, publicity agency, conversion rate optimization, e-commerce SEO strategy. So these are all basically topics that we don't rank for, and that makes it like three websites in our industry rank for something that we don't. This usually means it is something that is worth looking into. It's important in the industry, usually. I mean, you should scrutinize this list, obviously, to see whether or not it is worth your effort to rank for them, but it's a start. There's a quick, easy way to find all these keywords. Pinterest SEO. Like best courses for SEO, things like this. So that's how you use this particular content gap competitor analysis tool. If I want, I can add filters to this list. So for example, I want only to see keywords that are not so difficult to rank for in terms of keyword difficulty. If you're not sure what this metric is, I'm going to hover over here to explain what it is. Basically, it's giving an estimated score of how difficult it would be to rank in the top 10 positions based on what the top 10 results currently have backlinks leading to them. Because as a general rule, and like one of the factors of ranking in the top 10 position, still even today, is the number of referring pages, referring domains linking to these top 10 pages specifically. So for example, so if I open up the search button here, just to give you an example, you can see the number of backlinks for the top 10 results are in the thousands or at least the hundreds. So if you want to also have your website ranking in here, there's a large chance that you also need to have like hundreds of thousands of backlinks before that page can rank in the top 10. Okay, so that gives you an idea. But let's say I want to filter out for keyword difficulty that is at max 20. Something I can do. I can stack on with other filters as well. So maybe let's say I want to filter for keywords that basically include feature snippets. Right, so these are ways in which I can add filters to further curate the list. And there you go. So now you get like, you just can prune down keywords that are not as relevant to you or that you feel like you will not need to target. And now I get like interesting things like website like SimilarWeb or content recycling or SEO text briefing. Okay. So that is the competitor analysis use case of this tool. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Search intent. So even in this particular tool, any of the reports in Ahrefs where they pertain to keywords, you should be able to filter for, except for competitor analysis, but you should be able to filter for search intent. So for example, if I go to Keywords Explorer here, let's say, let's do like a live example here for everyone. Type into a chat something that we can, like a topic that we can search keywords for in Keywords Explorer. Anyone. Could be your industry, could be an interesting topic. Okay, I specialist, AEO optimization. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll pick first I specialist and then e-commerce. at the actually I would do eye specialist and then I'll do, sorry, I think this is, I'm not sure which language this is. Christian, what which language is this, by the way? This Jul Gaver Til Asante. Norwegian. Yeah, let's do like an English example and then like a non-English example. It's okay. So I want to look to keywords that patients with eye problems are likely to search for. Yeah, let's do that. Something like this. Okay. Now I will select the num as the country is United States for now and give it a search. Oh, wow, amazing. Okay, 1 second. Is our whole platform down? Okay, our whole platform is down. Give me one moment here. Okay, well, while I investigate the issue, do you guys have any questions about Ahrefs at the moment? With your platform? Yeah, sometimes it happens based on the region. So if if it's working for you, and then you're kind of lucky. Yeah, it happens. Yes, it does happen. Refresh. Okay, we're back. Thank God. Okay, Raju, I'll answer your question after I finish this use case. So look, we just did a search of all these different keywords, and like, fortunately, we have data for all of these keywords. So all of the keywords that we entered in that AI suggested, amazingly, have, it doesn't always happen, but like in this case, I think it was wonderful that there number of keywords related to like eye problems that they search for. There are search volumes every month for all these keywords. Now, we're talking about search intent. So this is one of the newer features that we've added to Keywords Explorer and other like reports related to keywords, where we look at the SERP results for every one of these keywords and we see whether or not the intent is like more informational, like they're trying to learn about something, or for example, they are trying to buy something, so transactional, things like that. Or commercial is things like if I want to compare like two glasses brands, right? And that would be like something on commercial. Okay, so let's look for only transactional keywords. Well, not keywords that include transactional intent. Let's filter for that. I guess in this case, it's more informational, huh? Yeah, all of them have informational intent. Okay, that's fair. If I want, I can search for, in this case, there are no branded keywords. So let's move into like related terms here. In this report, I think we're going to get a lot more estimations of different keywords here. So like we get something like I buy direct. So let's say I want to filter for branded keywords. So all these keywords that I entered in were related to like issues, but maybe during this time they're related websites that basically contain that also rank for different brand names. So VisionWorks, iBuyDirect, Shows Up, LensCrafters, Pearly Vision. So, and I can also similarly filter for non-branded, right? Or I can filter for local. All keywords or branded keywords that are also local, for example. This is something that we can do. Lens crafters near me, Florida Eye Clinic, lens specialists, Bethesda Vision Care, Central Florida Eye Specialist. So like you can see that they have a location in the keyword. They have keywords that are pertaining to people are searching for locations near me and things like that. So it's a cool way to quickly filter out keywords that are relevant to your business, or for like, for example, have to do with like location listings and e-commerce. Okay, so the intent filter, I find it to be really, really powerful because it helps you like without needing to filter for specific words. Like I needed to filter for the words near me or something. You can really find different keywords that have specific intent in them. Uh, and based on that intent, it gives you ideas of how you can create content to serve that intent and therefore rank for these keywords. We can try something similar with the keyword. The other keyword that the second person has shared. I'll answer is there any way of implementing, like, because I'm answering this question because it's the same question as the person that suggested the keyword. Is there any way of implementing Ahrefs with WordPress or WooCommerce? Ahrefs should be independent of your website platform. There should, maybe you can give an example of how you see Ahrefs being implemented, but by and large, since it's a platform that provides data that helps you analyze things, it's usually, you should be able to do this for any website regardless of your platform. But if you have an example of something where you're not sure if there's an integration about, you can maybe share more information about that. I'm going to go back, Keywords Explorer again, and type this keyword and filter for Norway. Maybe I can say keywords that searchers, yeah, okay. Keywords related to, let's see if it all shows up in Norwegian. I'm not sure about this. Yes, does show up in Norwegian. That's awesome. So for example, if you're like targeting a different language and you're not sure, you can definitely use AI to give you suggestions for this. But my prediction is that not every one of these keywords is going to be in our database. Let's just see. That's my prediction. Yeah, most are not in our database. But that's okay. We can look into keywords that are matching these, for example. And Norway is a smaller market, so a lot of these keywords are going to have like a small estimated search volume. That is unfortunately expected for like smaller countries with less population, therefore less people searching, less search volume for keywords, things like that. But there is some information here. And again, I can also maybe check related terms. There might be more suggested keywords here. There we go. So if you're not sure what related terms this report does, it basically looks into all the keywords, all the pages that rank in the top 10. So top 10, for example, of this keyword. And they see what other keywords that it ranks for. So you like, because one page is usually ranking for many, many keywords. So you'll look at what other keywords the top 10 results rank for. And then these are basically keyword ideas that are usually related to what you search but may not contain the word. In this case, there are quite a number of these keywords here. Okay, and again, I can filter. Let's say I want to filter for informational and navigational. All right, so then I only see keywords with such. There you go. If you want to see the different intents that we have determined each keyword to have, you can select this by the columns. So I can click user intent here. So you can adjust what all the metrics here that are being shown. Let's say I want to see growth rate and I don't care about cost per click, for example. This is something I can do. Okay, so these are all ways in which I can filter the report to see what I want. And of course, you have the option to export this report once you've configured everything as you need. And you can export it for like further analysis or keeping that data for later. Yeah, Christian, your question is integration is the right word. Is there any integration? So I'm not sure, but what is the integration? What is the expectation for integration to do? Because mainly what happens at Ahrefs is that, okay, we provide information about your website as well as like what people search or your competitors, and using that information, you can then decide what pages to create on your website. There are some specific like plugins that we have for WordPress, for example. We have Ahrefs does have a WordPress plugin, but that's specifically to audit contents, right? So if you have a WordPress plugin, you can use this plugin to like audit your content for like pages that maybe are performing well, underperforming, or are maybe declining and they should be updated. So I can copy this website for you here, but this is not the whole platform. You see, like Ahrefs provides a lot more than that. This is just specific to one thing. Yeah, this is just one thing. Yeah. Okay. So we just demoed the intense filter here, so I hope that it was useful. Roger's question was, is Ahrefs too expensive? You can try the starter plan. Starter plan. Hmm. Okay, we used to have it on a pricing page, I guess not. There you go. Yeah. Starter plan. This is 29 US dollars per month. If you are just starting out and you're a small business or you're a freelancer and you just need the basics, you can use this to, why is this not working? There you go. Yeah. This should be a useful way for you to start using Ahrefs and, for example, doing some small keywords research or researching your competitors and things like that. So like you can have a little bit of that in the starter plan. And then when you are ready to upgrade, you can consider, if as your website gets more performance, you can consider upgrading. Are there any plugins for Wix? Currently, no. But as mentioned, I think I would like to understand a bit more about what plugins you're looking for. Like, what do you expect the plugin to do? And if it's something that can be done with a platform, you may not need a plugin. You get what I mean? So when like if you have some question of like, is there something that you'd like the plugin to do, maybe you can give more information. Raju, you have some things about trying to get your website to the front page. It depends on what keyword you're doing, trying to rank to the front page for. So what I can help to link, I think it's like checklist. It says 2024, but I still think this is relevant because by and large, nothing has really changed. So this is for Raju. I'm typing in the chat here. Here's a checklist of like the basics that you should have on your website. Or your blogs especially. to make sure to rank high, like to improve your chances of ranking in the top 10 for the keywords that you're trying to rank for. Okay, let's move on to next use case here. So find SEO issues that hurt your website's performance in Google. So one of the tools on our platform is Site Audit. So if you have not checked it out yet, it's one of the things that when you add your website for the first time, we usually help to set it up for you and ask you if you'd like to run it for the first time. So in this case, I can show this one here. So I open up Site Audit. If you're not sure where Site Audit is, it should be at the very top here. Or you can open up all tools and it should be under website performance. Okay. So as I audit my page, you can see that there's a number of pages that have errors. So as your website is being crawled, we check your website for over 170 different issues. So I can show you how to see all 171 issues here, all tracked. See, I'm at all issues and there's all tracked. And there's 3 levels of importance. There's error and there's warning and there's notice. The error is the red ones. Typically we put any error, any issue in this category if the issue has a meaningful impact to SEO based on what we know. So broken pages, for example, is like a very clear case of that. Pages that have links to broken pages. These are all, generally issues that you should fix as soon as you can. And broken redirect. So these are all, and that's why we usually have them tagged as error. They will be red. Ref lengths that are broken. So you have issues having your website showing up correctly in different like different parts of the world in different languages. So these are usually the errors here. Now, what about the yellow ones? So the yellow ones are warnings. So let's give an example, right? So there are certain pages that are no index, meaning that we do not necessarily want search engines to index them. They could be an issue. They could not be an issue. You can click on this no index page and then check all the pages here. Are they pages that you want them to be indexed by search engines? If they're not, you don't need to do anything. Okay, but maybe they are. And so that's why if you do want them to be indexed and they're no indexed by mistake, then that's why it is a warning. That's why it's yellow. Okay, so the same would be for something like meta description too short or title too long. These are all things where it could have an impact, but they are not as critical as like broken pages and stuff. So there are 2 degrees of severity here. Okay, so if you're not sure where to start in this like long list of different issues that you want to target and fix, then I would recommend starting with the errors. Okay, so if I open up a report like this, let's say I don't know what a broken or 404 pages. Let's say this is not something I'm familiar with. I can click on why and how to fix at the very top here, and there'll be information that explains why this is a problem and a general how to fix guide. Okay. And usually we have some like additional links to further resources if you want more information on that. Harshal asked, what is the maximum number of pages Ahrefs can crawl? Let's say I have a large website. So we actually can crawl quite a number of pages, but the max you can crawl depends on your plan. So let's look at the plans, right? So there are a max number of credits based on your plan. So if you want to and you need to crawl all, in this case, how many? 40,000 pages? Then, for example, you can crawl them like twice a month on a light plan, or like 5 times, 6 times a month on the standard plan for one website, right? You can use up all your crawl credits per month. This is something you can do. Okay, and then on higher plans, of course, you have more crawl credits, so you can crawl them more frequently, or you can crawl more websites that are big, things like that. Okay. On the enterprise level, we help to crawl pages that like sometimes even have hundreds and thousands of pages, sometimes even a million pages, but that's very uncommon. And typically pages of that like websites of that size have like whole different like levels of like concerns and issues that like require more uh, impressive features for site audit to kind of like analyze and manage issues on your website. So I hope that answers that question. But yeah, in general, like by and large, it's a handy place. Everyone on any plan, even the free plan, uh, can have access to most of the features in site audit. So we certainly think that it's a good thing that you can check out and crawl your website for any issues. It's kind of like a low-hanging fruit. Like, it's with a quick audit, you can check if all the issues and you fix them. And that generally helps to make sure that the basic hygiene is done for your website. May I ask about error 403? Abbas. Yeah, you can ask about 403. Are you asking about if you see 403 on your website? Like maybe you're following along? For if you want to understand, if you see 403, like let's say you go to Page Explorer and you see instead of 404, you see like under the HTTP status code, you see 403. What this means in site audit specifically is likely that our crawler is not allowed to crawl your website. So another way to check this is to go to this ahrefs.com/robot. Here, I will copy it. And I want to select site audit here because it's the site audit bot that is crawling your website that sees 403 and you put in your website. So I'll give an example of a website I think we are blocked. Yeah. So you get to see the status over here usually. Yeah, our crawler is not allowed to crawl LinkedIn. That's like an example of like website. So if you see like a status like this, it's likely that there are issues that are blocking our bot, of which we can provide information here, is crawling our website. So usually if you see an error like this, you have to contact your host provider to say, can you whitelist Ahrefs bot and Ahrefs site audit so that they can crawl my website? Okay. And if you still face issues after that, you can contact our help support team. You see, we can help to further diagnose the issue. But by and large, this is something that your host provider needs to help, like make sure that our crawler is allowed to visit your website. Okay, so that is the overall gist of site audit. If you have any other questions, I feel free to share them. Let's move on to the next use case here. Discover your competitor's most linkable assets. So we have this like handy, so let's go back to the dashboard here, and I want to look at like pages in our blog. Okay, so if I type in like a sub, like a ahrefs.com/blog, now I only see pages that start with ahrefs.com/blog. So I don't get to see pages of the whole website, which is kind of useful if I want to look into just the performance of my website's blog articles. I can similarly do that for my competitors. And in this case, since we're looking at your most linkable assets in this use case, I'm going to open up the Best By Links report. All right, so what this does is that it looks for all the pages in ahrefs.com/blog and puts them based on like backlinks and referring domains that are linking specifically to that page. So we see some like consistent things here. We can see that a lot of these case studies that we've done attract a lot of links. Our beginner guides tend to attract a lot of links. So I think basically people are finding them very useful as a resource and therefore want to link it on their pages for other people. Case study statistics. Another case study, listicles that explain how to do common search operators. It's like a useful resource for people, and so people link them. Our guides for beginners, guides for beginners. So using a report like this gives you an idea of what strategies and what like content ideas attract links. And this is something that maybe you can see, okay, these are the things that people value and therefore want to specifically would like to link to on their own websites. And this is stuff. So if I want to build links for my website, I may consider making content like this. And especially I can open up these pages, like for example, on this one, and say, and give a look through and say, can I do a better job than like any of these pages here that are attracting lots of links? Because if I can, then I may have a better chance of like attracting more links. For example, 73 blogging statistics for 2024, or how to use Google Keyword Planner in 2024. Here's another one, right? I can open this page and I say, okay, maybe I can update this, do an updated version for 2025. Right, and then I get that gives a chance to see that if I can attract links more for my website. Sometimes you get to see, so this is an interesting one, you get to see things like this too. Basically, people are linking specifically to images. Let's see if I can change what is it? Target. Target URL contains JPG, I think, or PNG. I do any. Now I get to see the images that are attracting links. So images can attract links too. People just use your image, right? These are all things that people may want to link to here. Right, these are all, and you can see that this, oops, 1 second. You can see these tend to be graphics that we have created. Right, so this is like a chart that we created, and then people basically link to us, and then we have a link of our blog at the bottom here, as well as our like our logo. So, but because it's a graphic that people find useful, they link to it. So these are again linkable like assets, things that you can also consider creating in order to like attract links to your website. Okay, so that's how you use, essentially how you use this report, Best by Links. I see some questions are being asked here. Oh, no, okay, so Harsha helped to answer that question already. So far, hopefully it's useful. Hopefully you get an understanding of how this report works. We can move on to the next use case if you don't have any further questions. Track your website visitors in real time. Okay. Again, this is one of the tools that we launched recently. So we have a simple web analytics tool on our platform that you can check out. I'm going to close all of this here. You want to know where it is? We go back to the dashboard. Web analytics over here. I have it currently set up for one of our websites, BloggerJet. So it works similarly to Google Analytics, and it's just adding a snippet to your website, so which loads every time someone visits it. And we can check information like the number of visitors. And by the way, it doesn't store any like cookies, so privacy is preserved. So this should be GDPR compliant as well for if you are in the regions that GDPR applies. And you can see like your basic information, like bounce rate, like views per visit, like how long they visit for. But you can also see some of the interesting graphs here. Like we can easily see in one page what browsers people typically use when they visit you, what countries they come from, the top pages that people visit. Something that is very like we make it very easy for you to see is AI search. And what this is essentially is when people like search in ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatever, yeah, in this case, or Gemini, and any of the AI responses cites one of my pages, and then the people that see the response and they see the citation of my page and then they click on it, these platforms basically put a referrer in the header to say, hey, as the person visits this page, hey, they came from ChatGPT or Perplexity and things like that. And so we make it like easy to filter for this particular channel, in this case, AI search. You can see which source they come from, as well as the pages. So since I've already filtered for channels AI search here by clicking on channels, right? So it's filtered for this already. I can then see the top pages that are being linked to by these AI sources here. And again, I can see things like the browsers and geography. So it's like a really quick and easy way to analyze traffic coming from like AI search specifically as well. Web Analytics also has the ability for you to set a custom event. So let's say you want to set up people, you want to track clicks for like purchasing particular products or on your website or signing up for one of your programs or things like that. You can add a UTM link like an event like this, right? As a custom event, or you can filter it for like people viewing for specific events. So like it has to be pages that maybe contains maybe you're looking for people that are looking that you want to filter one event where people are looking for long dresses, in your website. So that's something you can filter for, and then like I can say long dresses, and then I can create, right? So this is an example. Or you can do a custom event. Um, I'll show you how it works here. Here is to add a class to your URL or to your buttons and things like that. So when people click on that, that sends a custom event to Web Analytics here, and then we track it. So this is something that you can set up, similar to Google Analytics as well, right? You can also set up funnels. So in this case, if I clear this filter here, okay, you can set up so that clicks that go from this particular blog, how many go to the home page or how many go to like different other parts of the website. You can set it up like this, right? So first maybe they go to the home page, and then after that they go to like one of the blogs, so they go to the sign up page. This is something you can set up. Okay, or you can set it up so that like I want to see how many people go from the home page, in this case the BloggerJet. After that, go to maybe sign up page or something. Right, so and then I can just say example funnel, and then I create it. There you go. So then it sets up as a funnel here. I'm just like, in this case, there are no visitors, but like I'm just showing you like how it works. Okay, how quickly once a month is over can I see data in it? I believe it should be like, so today is the 11th. So it's like close to real time, very close to real time. Doesn't require you to wait much at all. You should be able to see some data like within a day. So that's faster than a lot of our competitors. Yeah, hope that helps. And also you can export this and other stuff. Okay, any questions about web analytics? This is free. This should be usable for everyone, unless your website is very big. So if your website is like or not say your website's very big, but that you get a lot of visitors to your website and they're like uh in the hundreds of thousands or millions per month, then we have an add-on that you can purchase to see all the events that happen on your website. But if your website's relatively small, this should be free for you. Yeah. Can we see the traffic on multiple pages at once? Yes. You can stack the rules of the different pages. So let's say I want to put in just maybe the top three here. I want to see 100 results. And I want to see monitor mentions. Okay. Is any rule. Apply. So I'm just looking at the traffic for these three pages right now. Very easy setup. Just add the filter. Just like, it's like similar to the UI of like Ahrefs that we have standard. So I can filter for different browsers, different devices and stuff. Let's say I only want to see smartphone. It's going to be small in this case, but it can happen. Yep. See, now I filtered for just these three blogs and people that visit a mobile. You can see a lot of them come from Google and some even come from AI. So you get a very small percent. This tells me that like my top performing blogs, some people really come from AI and they come from their phone. They're using their phone to discover me. Okay. Alberto asks, is it possible to filter paid traffic in this tool? I think so. Let's clear this. But we're not running ads on this page, but I'm pretty sure there's a way. If not, you can just set up a custom attract event from like when you put in your Google ads or whatever ads you're paying for, you put in like a tag and then you set up the event so that it tracks for URLs containing that particular UTM or whatever here, and then you can track it as a source. But we should have paid search here. It's just that this website we're not running ads for it. Marab asks, can we get an auto report of our mails? Can you get website reports sent to your emails? I think that is the question. To show you how to see that. So all the different alerts that you can get emailed to you is here. It's this reporting here, this alerts. Yeah. So we provide alerts about backlinks coming to your website, new keywords that your website ranks for, and mention. So basically websites that mention, I've not set up any, but this is something you can set up yourself here. So this is in the alerts tool. And so these are all like reports that can be scheduled to be sent weekly to you, or they can be sent like monthly. And you can filter them, for example, for only new backlinks or lost backlinks and things like that. For site audit in particular, also you can configure emails. So clicky click, loady load, loady load, please. There you go. I can look at email notifications. So I can get notifications about crawl summary. Oh, wait, sorry, this is a next project. Let's open up like this one. Email notifications, so I can get crawl summaries sent to me. And that happens after a crawl is completed. And can I just turn them off as well? So these are the reports you can get emailed to you. Harshal, if this is free, then it's a great tool to spy on competitors and see their top pages. Web analytics, if we're talking about this tool, web analytics, this is installing for your website. It has no information about your competitors. I think if you want to spy on your competitors, there are two tools to do this. One is Site Explorer, where you can see their top pages. So let's say, let's look at Moz.com. That's our competitor. And I can look at their top pages, but this is based on search. So this is like I can see their top pages performing in search. Anytime now. I think it's loading for a year's data, so it's taking a while. So this is to be able to show the top pages getting the most amount of organic traffic in Google. Okay, we have some issues today. I'm sorry, guys, but I think it should be loading for you. Maybe let's filter for. Okay, it works now. So I get to see the top pages of my competitor. I can see which pages are driving the most traffic and from which countries they're getting the most traffic from and what keywords I've paid like where that people search and then click on their website is sending the most traffic, organic traffic. This is generally estimated, so this is not like we have a snippet on their website and therefore we can see it. This is estimated based on the different data sources that we have compiled together to estimate clicks going to this. And it's also based on position. So in this case, for example, Moz is on position 1 for Keywords Explorer, right? For this page explorer. So I should be able to, if I click on here, Keywords Explorer, right? I can scroll down to SERP overview and I can see that Moz is position 1. So if you're on position 1, the chances of you getting like the most traffic is generally very high. Yeah, so it's based on position. Okay, the other tool to like monitor top pages of competitors is Rank Tracker. So for example, here I've set up 6 competitors for our help articles. And I can see how my competitors, like the top keywords that my competitors are ranking for compared to me, for different keywords. Okay, so if you're lost, I'm in Rank Tracker and I'm on my competitors overview. Okay, so I've like added 6 competitors here. And so based on that, I can look into for each of the keywords that I'm tracking for, I can see their positions. I can see estimated amount of traffic going to these positions and things like that. Okay. Okay, any questions? We move on. It's another one of our here. Okay, we are almost out of time and like it's good timing because now we're at the final case, which is creating custom reports. This is also like one of our newest features. So you go back to the dashboard here. If you want to know where the reports are, on your dashboard, on the left-hand side, you see this reports thing here. And here, I believe on all paid plans, by default, you can make 1 report. And if you want to make more reports, you can purchase the report add-on. So for example, in this case here, maybe let's pick another one. Let's pick this one. So what I can do is I can add different widgets from all my different projects. I can add for multiple projects if I want, or even portfolios, which I can quickly explain later on. But let's say like I want to add information about like my top organic keywords by traffic. And then like I want to put Rank Tracker next to it side by side. So I can add widgets like this. It just give you an example. Let's do share of voice. Blogger Jet. Can add competitors. So maybe we'll add SparkToro. Just for example, right? And maybe there you go. So the widget is added at the bottom here. So graph is being generated. And I can see the share of voice over time. And then if I want to configure what I just added, I can go back to this here and I can maybe select a particular location or a time period, things like that. I can move the widgets around. Just like this, drag and drop, very easy. Move this up a bit if I want. So, and then after that, I can print a PDF. So then it becomes like a convenient way to, let's move this back, move this back. Yeah, so I can print this to PDF. Yeah, and then from there I can like save and export this out to like your team or like your client or your boss, whatever it is that's needed. Okay, so useful place to create reports here. Okay, so that is the like overview of like the cool things you can do. Ahrefs, like part of it is doing analysis and the other part is using it to create useful reports and look at data that is useful to you to help you rank better in search and AI. There are two questions in Q&A, I can answer them. One is from Ismail. It says, Ahrefs dashboard is complex. I can understand your that it can be slightly overwhelming to use it at the beginning because there's so many things to click here. But if you're not sure what things are, you can, where is it? I think here. Dashboard. Right? So this particular course gives you a quick overview of the things to understand on the dashboard, what the different metrics mean, the different things you can use it for, where to find particular information on the dashboard. So it can be complex, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes a great way to see at a glance how you are performing or maybe your competitors are performing from the dashboard. Okay. Which plan includes AI search? Asked by Eva. So by AI search, like, okay, so if you enter in your website here, or maybe any other website, and you can see this section here, AI citations, right? These numbers come from our brand radar tool. And this brand radar requires you, so by default, if you have a paid subscription, so let's open this for a moment. We're currently in brand radar. So you can see you should be able to see search demand. Like without paying for brand radar, but if you want to see like for different AI tools, then you require like one of our paid add-ons. In order to see one of these sources, any one of these, there's a like you can purchase the add-ons for any one of these. But if you want to see like for all the AI sources, there's also a lump sum price. Yeah, so if I look down here, or sorry, I think it's in our pricing page. There you go. Brand Radar AI. This is the price per index. So you can purchase one or you can purchase like multiple. Okay. And to see where to make that purchase. So if you want to see where to make that purchase, you go to your account settings and you go to your billing here on your subscriptions, and you should be able to see which ones to purchase here. So you can purchase for all platforms, or you can purchase like individual indexes, like just ChatGPT or just AI overviews and AI mode or just Gemini. Okay. Hope that answers that question. Okay. So we've covered most of the use cases here today. Does anyone have any like requests or like specific questions you'd like to ask? Or things you would like to see while we're here in the demo? We have maybe about 5 minutes here or 10 minutes. Then we can quickly go through. And this is your time to ask any questions that you're itching to ask or you're not sure about. We're here to help you go through and get them answered live. You're most welcome, Alberto and Valentina. Sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. Any questions? While people, if there's any people asking, okay, that brand radar thing, can we go over there again? We can certainly do that. Let's go over to brand radar again, to the brand radar thing. Da, da, da. There you go. Let's do an example. Maybe I am Nike and I have competitors. I can ask AI to suggest this for me if I want. So my competitors are Adidas, New Balance, Puma, Reebok, Under Armour. I'm just gonna put on shoes just for good measure. This might not be correct, but yeah. And let's say I want to filter for, I don't have to do this, but I can filter for maybe basketball. Or let's do running and explore. So what do I see in brand radar? I see an overview of what percentage my brand is showing up across all these different topics related to running, or that contain the word running more specifically. And then we are position number one against my competitors. So let's say I can see that over time. So you can see that this is a graph over time. The number of big mentions in AI overview in this case over time, like started off like low together, but Nike has always been very prevalent. Then Adidas, then New Balance, and then Puma, and so on and so forth. I think Reebok was beating On Shoes, and then recently, so they're fighting with each other. So you can see that there's some crossover with the different brands over time, but they're all sort of like fighting each other, and Nike being at the very top. So quick things I can do. I can see that most of the time in AI overview specifically, the top cited domains are YouTube, Reddit, and like Wikipedia and Quora. So what this tells me is that the AI overviews likes to pick videos sent by people. So this could be like, I don't know, product reviews or like box openings and things like that. Reddit posts made by people. So these are like the domains where like they're more likely to pick responses about things. And then Quora. So, and interestingly, Healthline. So like amazingly, Nike.com is not at the top, or like none of these like brands have their websites being top cited. These are all sort of user generated or different like platforms, like informational platforms that bring cited. If I want to, I can filter to the responses that link these. Okay, and so I can see individually, like because I filtered for only the AI overviews that are linking YouTube videos. So I can see the search query that's entered in and the AI overview that's generated and the links they provided. Holy crap, so many links. So you can see the youtube.com here. So you can do this, and as usual, I can filter down. So maybe I want to filter only for Canada. All right, I can see what the keyword is that's being filtered down, as well as the AI overview and the links that are shown in AI overview. If I want to, sorry, we're back in the overview again. I can also look for that in Gemini, or let's do perplexity, something like that. Similarly, I can see over time. And you notice something different. You see that this is like on a monthly basis. And that's because we do a search into any one of these AI platforms once a month. And we basically put in our entire like keyword index and we search all like billions of keywords into all these different AI platforms. And then we save their responses. You can see the top cited pages here. Let's filter this out. Yeah, there you go. Because we had it filtered just now. I removed the filter. Now we only see Canada and we only see perplexity. And we can see the top cited domains, the top cited pages. And then if we want to see the individual search queries, we click on individual search queries on the side here. We can see which are the search queries where perplexity is entered in. Oh, that's related, that shows my brands here. 1 second. So if I click on this, oh, it goes to the keyword report, sorry. Come back. All right. AI responses. I can look for perplexity. I can, for example, filter for, ooh, now we have pictures. Isn't that cool? Now you get to see the pictures that get responded, get generated in the response. Things like I want to see the response does not contain Nike. So I can filter for a brand. So it will filter for responses that don't contain my brand, but it will contain all my competitors here. See, now we can see the case here. For example, in this query, what's the best running shoe for men? Nike's not suggested anywhere here. All the other brands are. Well, not all, but you can see, okay, there's Brooks, there's Saucony, things like that. And more interestingly, it will show you the links that were being used to generate these responses. So because a lot of these links were being, these sources are being cited, and these sources seem to not mention or not suggest Nike at all. So that's the kind of information you can get using Brand Radar. Okay, this is like a general overview of the things you can do with Brand Radar. If you want to use this, but only look at search demand, so you should be able to do this. If you click search demand right now, most of you guys, if you have a paid subscription, you can click on this and you should be able to use Brain Radar just to look at search demand. So what this does is that you can see the search. So this like search demand basically is like our keyword database. So what keywords contain Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Under Armour, and stuff like that over time? You can see that it's quite seasonal, actually, the search volume versus, so the search volume for the keywords containing Nike or Adidas, New Balance, etc. over time versus search queries. Keywords over time that contain any of these words. There seems to be a jump in 2020, so I can like investigate as to why. Look at search queries related to this. So this is something you can do now on your subscription. Okay? That's Brand Radar. Any other questions? This is final call for any questions about the Ahrefs platform that you'd like to learn. It can also be like, would you like to, if you have any questions about like, oh, I'd like to know what resources we have in our blog that helps my business or help me to do some specific SEO thing, we can also help with that. Calling once. Calling twice. Okay, it looks like everyone is happy. I can attach the webinar, the PDF of the cases that I covered today in the follow-up email. So the follow-up email for this webinar will contain a link to the recording of this webinar as well as the PDF, and that would be sent to you tomorrow. And it seems like we're done for today. We have all the questions answered. So thank you so much to everyone that joined today's webinar. Please note that we have, if you'd like to attend more webinars like this one, there'll be more, like every month we have at least 2, if not 3 webinars. So there are more webinars coming up. And you can find all about them on this page. And if there are specific webinars that you'd like to see us do in the future, you can also share that in the follow-up survey after this webinar. Okay, yeah, for those that would like to leave, you can leave. Otherwise, I'll answer Tala Khan's question here. LLM's data is not public. How does Ahrefs show search volume and other stats? Brand Radar's data is created by taking our entire keyword index. So all the keywords that we have here, this is from our keywords database. And this is what we collect this data based on what we know people search into Google normally. So we take those keywords and then we enter it into Brand Radar. All these different, like, so we enter in, like, for example, best running shoes. We type that and we enter into ChatGPT. We say best running shoes and we enter into Perplexity. And we do that for every single keyword in our database that we know is typically searched in Google. And then based on searching that, we get the generated responses from all these like different tools and we save it. That's all that's happening. So can we get the data of like some 20-year-old girl in the Philippines who is searching about the best like digital marketing courses? We can't do that. That is definitely not like public data. But we can do the next best thing, which is to search the keywords that we know people typically search into all these different platforms and see what resources are generated. And AI is known to like generate like different responses all the time and curate them based on like previous searches that the person has made. So yeah, like the responses can be different in real life. The same thing happens to Google search anyway. So if you're logged into your Google account and you're typing some search query into Google, and it saves your cookies and your preferences, and like it knows information based off like previous things that you searched. It will also potentially show different results than what you see here in ahrefs.com. It is entirely possible. And again, like even Google is known to change the responses even without like LLMs or anything. This in like for a long time based on different times of day, different locations, searched by people, stuff like that. So what we try to provide in Brand Radar is a way for you to see at a glance what generally gets responded by AI for all kinds of different queries. So that gives you information about like, and like, overall broadly, for example, in your industry, if you're in running, or maybe you provide like resources about like finding eye specialists, like the previous guy did, or Christmas gifts. You can see in general like what pages tend to be cited, what brands tend to show up in like AI responses and things like that. This is something that Brain Radar can help you do. Okay. You're welcome, Gino. I think you've already left the webinar. That's okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, I will go ahead and end the webinar here. And thank you everyone for joining. And I hope to see you in future webinars to come. Okay, Tala has another question. Okay, last question. How do I track progress if I'm working on getting my website cited? By AI? Um, if you are looking to get, best way would be for Brand Radar. We are building lots of features for Brand Radar moving forward to help you track responses for custom queries. That's something that we can definitely talk about. That's coming soon. Currently not at the moment. We can help you today track traffic coming from AI, and that's usually based on a response that is generated based on what somebody searched, which is from web analytics that I showed you earlier. Da, da, da. Here. So this only tracks traffic, right? Because I showed you earlier that you can track search that's come from any of these platforms, like that are referred traffic. It will not tell you like, what that person searched or like what the response said, but you can know that you're getting traffic from these sources. Yeah. I think so in future, we're building more features into Brand Radar to help you track for specific ranking for specific things. Right now, AI, see, like for example, if I put in information, like one of our demos here, talk about like Netflix versus Disney, these are all big brands and big companies, right? So very often you see that like it gets referenced a lot. For example, like people are searching about movies, like Netflix is going to show up. Prime Video is going to show up, HBO Max, like any TV series, like any of these platforms will show up very often in the brand name, in the resources. But in the future, we will provide a way to like track specific individual things. If you search for something like this already, and these are like different brands, and I want to like maybe filter for citations of I can filter for citations of a specific URL domain. That's something I can do, and I can track, and then I can see the date. So this is the way to see how I can filter for particular websites. But generally, it's hard to see this for like a very small brand, a very small website. I'll tell you honestly right now. That's just because we don't see like a lot of the AI responses are typically dominated by big brands at the moment. That's what we see, right? So if we filter in any of these keywords, you can see it's all the same. It's like all the common platforms, websites related to Disney, Netflix, Rotten Tomatoes, and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. So I think the easiest way right now to track progress is this way, is to see traffic coming from AI search. This is the easiest way at the moment. It does not tell you too much. It just tells you they come from these sources. And hopefully AI will generate links that will actually state that, yeah, I'm from ChatGPT or Perplexity Gemini. We wrote a blog recently about how AI doesn't necessarily like generate the link correctly to refer. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the webinar here. Thank you everyone who has joined. I look forward to your survey responses so we can help improve future webinars and create content that you guys will all find useful and enjoy, and hopefully find Ahrefs useful to your for your marketing work or your website work or whatever you're working on. Okay, thank you so much. Hope to see you guys in the next webinar, and take care. Bye bye.